here.
What's up, everybody? It's your favorite good news and bad news favorite nerd. The good news is it's another Praetorian Guard Day. The bad news is it's our last one. Well, I guess that's relative depending on how you feel about these reviews, but I'm not getting any more unless they do a Mafex one or a Bandai model kit so that I can have my 8, but I have decided that I am satisfied with 6. So we're going to talk about this one, which is the last one released from SH Figuarts, and then we're going to also talk about BB4 very briefly. So without any further ado, what do you say we get started? I know what you say. And we'll start with BB4 to get him out of the way. So there were some assemblies required, another plastic disc for him to sit on, like we've seen in the past. I think according to the visual dictionary, he's supposed to have like a resistance emblem or a rebellion sign kind of on his body. Double ball peg. Oh, don't break this. Maybe you can see it from there. Double ball peg from the head into the body. We have some weathering around all of the circles, so that looks nice. And then the head has this silver bit painted on, the brown bit painted on and shaded both here and here. And then this antenna is a separate piece that you stick in, and the silver is painted on there. You get the swivel at the ball peg, and then you get a little bit of a, you know, a roundabout motion. Nothing really to write home about, but if you're like me and you like to accent your shells with different little droids and, you know, characters, then this will do it for you. Which is the reason why I really bought all these Praetorian Guards, right? Because, and the same thing with the troopers, like in order to get the BB units, you had to get the dual sets of each for the most part. So, you know, it's a marketing technique and it worked on me, so I can't really say too much about it. You know what I mean? As for the Praetorian Guard accessories, unfortunately not a lot to write home about, kind of business as usual as we've come to expect. We have a closed, 2 open hands, 2 gripping hands, and 2 fist hands that he comes with. The gripping hands are for his weapons, so he comes with the chain, like kind of whip that's into a sword with the red glossy paint at the bottom and the silver paint at the top. Or you can have it in whip mode, cool whip, with silver red paint throughout. And this is painted a bit more clean than I've seen in the past, and then the red glossy paint at the bottom. Or his trusty big blade. And you can have the red silver paint there, and you can kind of choose what you want to do in regard to that. I need to look at the reference material and see how I need to arm my guys up, but at least it comes with the options, because I think this is the one that there are 4 of. And then there's 2 of the ones where the mouth protrudes past the head, and 2 of the ones with the thumbnail head. So this is the one that I'm hoping will be available through Mafex and a Bandai model kit, so I can have, you know, a different purchase for each one of these guys. No problem holding the chain sword or whip. No problem holding the blade. And this guy, we're going to be flying through this guy because we've looked at the mold plenty of times now. I don't feel like I need to waste your time, you know, kind of really taking the time on this guy. We will spend a second on the new head sculpt, which we haven't seen before, and how it affects the figure. I do like that you can see the bottom of the jaw protrude. Let me see if I can't zoom in on that. Protrude from underneath the helmet. I don't know if I've noticed that on the other ones, but I dig that. I think it gives it a little bit of extra flair. And then I also, you know, I dig the general design. The sculpt is great. It's got the red gloss on there versus the kind of matte red bodysuit underneath, so that all works well. Articulation-wise, double ball peg from the head into the neck. Articulation is crazy and looks good. And down, single ball peg, it feels like, from the neck into the abdomen. So let's fly through this, okay? We've done this before. We're old pros. So you get the swivel as well, of course. We got a little bit of blue paint there. We got the red gloss on the chest throughout. This piece, this middle piece of armor, is a floating piece to allow for more articulation from the double ball peg that goes from the chest to the abdomen, getting you all the way around, and the swivel. Tight joint on mine. Your mileage may vary. The shoulder is a ball hinge. The top plate is on a ball peg. It doesn't let you move a whole lot out of the way, but you can get up to there at least. And then you can get a swivel where the armor meets the shoulder. The ball peg allows you to get a little bit of a butterfly joint, actually fairly significant with the arms in front of the chest that far. Single hinged elbow that gets you 90 degrees, wrists are on ball hinges, and you can pull them out a bit to get you the extra mobility there. I'm not sure if I've mentioned that in the past, but it feels like Yeah, they do. It feels like the engineering there is set to collapse and expand a bit to get you the extra range of motion. I don't think I've mentioned that in the past. That's awesome. I love it. And you get the swivel, hinge in, out, or up, down, depending on how you'd like the figure posed. So moving on to the pelvis, I think it's a single ball joint into the pelvis. Actually, no, it's all from the chest into the pelvis. So, well, no, it's a separate single. I'm sorry. And then you get T-jointed ball joints for hips. Are they dropped down? I can't recall. Negative. But you can get them out to here, so no problem. And then forward and back to about there, so not the best, but should get you the poses you want. You have these bits that are connected to this centerpiece for the abdomen, which is a little bit of a hindrance, but posed in a stoic pose won't be a problem whatsoever, and you can work around it. It's just a bit of a nightmare. So we have the thigh swivel, and then we have the single jointed knee that's pretty clean on a ball hinge. Red glossy boots, red glossy feet, and you get an ankle tilt up, down, rocker, toe hinge. So it's fairly well done. Couple limitations in a couple places, but I don't think it should affect your displays or your poses or your photography or anything. You should be able to get pretty much everything you want, and the figure does have a nice strong presence per usual. So in lieu of a skit today, I want to show you my display. Now I'll eventually do a diorama here, but that'll be my, Snoke's throne room display, and I got my SH Figuarts on this side and the Hasbro ones on this side, and from a distance you can't tell. The SH Figuarts can pull off a few more more natural, realistic looking poses, but the Hasbro ones don't look bad either. There is something about these plastic flaps that don't really work for like action poses, but for these stoic poses work like a champ. So yeah, either way, I think it's worth the price of admission. I'm not sure how it will even look with 4 on each side, and I'm not sure it's a problem I'll have to worry about, so we'll see how it goes. So as far as I know, this will be the last Praetorian Guard that we look at. What a sad day has finally come to an end. There's been a lot of Praetorian Guards, but I feel like they're worth looking at because I feel like the display can be really solid. Honestly, at the end of the day, I think that if you get the Hasbro ones, you'll be fine. You can get 3 Hasbro ones for the cost of 1 of these. I just like the idea of having a little bit of variety on the shelf where there is, like, I hate buying the same thing more than once, So at least I'm buying the same thing, but I'm buying a different representation of it. I don't know. Makes me feel better about it. Pretty much all the same things stand as in the previous releases that I talked about. I wish we got a little bit more mobility out of the shoulders. I understand that the shoulder pads and the shoulder kind of flower pots create an issue in terms of articulation. I just wish there was a way to get around that. The Hasbro one has issues. This one has issues. They're just in different places. This one's elbows work fine. The Hasbro elbows are kind of acceptable. And this one, the shoulder plates are acceptable, and Hasbro shoulder plates work extremely well. So there's give and takes to both. Obviously, the paint, finish, materials, all that stuff is better on this one, as it should be for 3 times the price. I'm not sure if you need that. I know I do. Hope that helps. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.